In recent months, it's pretty much been a given. The Nokia Lumia 1020 and its 41 megapixel camera is the best you can get on a smartphone. But with the release of the Apple iPhone 5S with an 8 megapixel camera, is bigger necessarily better? I'm Andrew with MobileBurn.com, here to compare the Lumia 1020 with the iPhone 5S camera. The Lumia 1020 has a 41 megapixel camera. Now that's a lot of pixels, but it's also a lot of detail and sharpness that you get in the photos. This is an above average camera for sure. It has optical image stabilization, a xenon flash, and it has a dedicated camera button at the top that you can use to take photos. But it goes beyond just the hardware advancements. There's some nifty software in there made by Nokia. In the Pro Camera app, it allows you to adjust your brightness, your white balance, ISO, and other settings along the way. Now this is going to come in handy because the 1020 doesn't always recognize the right settings to apply. It typically does, but there are moments where your photos can come with an off tint or a cream color if it doesn't get the white balance right. The iPhone 5S, on the other hand, is pretty simple. It's an 8 megapixel camera with dual tone LED flash. There's no dedicated camera button, but you can use the volume buttons to take photos with selfies, or if you just want to apply a hardware camera button. The software, on the other hand, doesn't allow all the settings and changes that you do with the 1020. That's mainly because you don't need it. It tends to do a better job, a superior job, of recognizing the settings that you're in at the moment. So you pretty much just open it up and take a photo. It's a lot quicker. Now, obviously, there are going to be some times when you want to change things around. So you can zoom in like you can with the Pro Camera app on the 1020 as well. But you can also apply live filters. You can switch to a panoramic mode and lots of other things. So on the software level, the iPhone 5S is definitely easier to manage. Here's an example of what I mean by being able to recognize things appropriately. You see on the left hand side, I took a photo with the iPhone 5S, took the phone out, snapped the picture, everything came out fine. But the 1020 in the middle didn't recognize that I was under fluorescent lighting, so it took kind of a poor photo. But of course, the magic of the 1020 is that you can make adjustments, so the photo on the far right looks better once I change the white balance around. There's another example here when I'm in a bus terminal and I'm taking a photo of the roof. On the far right, it's a little bit too cream because once again, the 1020 didn't recognize the lighting appropriately. But when you see I make the adjustment in the middle, it might be a little bit preferable to what the iPhone took. So again, it's about quickness versus the final product. If you're willing to take that extra step, sometimes the 1020 can actually come out to be a better photo. In this example, I didn't have to take any extra steps. Both cameras just took the photo and that was it. But I actually prefer the 1020 on this one. Even though the iPhone is actually more color accurate on the left hand side, I like the brightness of the 1020 photo in this case. So I know I might be going back on my word here, but it's just a matter of depending on a shot by shot basis of what you expect. Here, things go back the other way. I actually prefer the iPhone photo on the left because the bricks have a much better color. The photo just looks a little bit richer than you get with the 1020. If you pull out a phone and snap a photo, you won't notice much difference between the two devices because they're both good in low light conditions. But the 1020 definitely sets itself apart in this area because of the ability to make adjustments. So when you want to change your ISO, when you want to change your white balance in a nighttime situation, it's going to be a preferable situation to have a 1020 with you because you can fine tune it to your exact preference. Now, when it comes to the flash, the 1020 has a xenon flash that introduces a lot of light in the situation without blasting your subject in the face. Now, sometimes it might be a little bit overpowering and a little bit too much, but it's still a very good flash to have. The iPhone 5S, on the other hand, has a good flash system as well. It uses dual tone flash. It has a white light and an amber light, and it looks at the subject and decides how much light to apply depending on the situation. Most of the time, either one is going to give you a good picture. But for my money, at nighttime, I'd rather have the 1020 with me if I'm willing to make those adjustments. But again, this goes back to my original problem. You need to make the adjustments with the 1020. The iPhone 5S kind of specializes in being able to just take a phone out, take a picture, and that's it. When you've got a kid running around or you want to capture something that's happening at the moment, speed is an important factor. And in those cases, the 1020 just doesn't keep up as much. So it's really a matter of what you prefer. Do you want power or do you want speed? The 1020 is definitely the most powerful camera. The iPhone 5S is the faster camera, and it still does a very good job with its auto recognition system. So it all comes down to, if you're willing to take that extra step, a lot of times you might find that the 1020 is the better camera. But if you just want to pull the phone out of your pocket, capture a moment, and go about your business, you're better off getting the iPhone 5S. This is Andrew with MobileBurn.com. Be sure to follow the link in the description below so you can see some more images of what we take and you can compare the two devices for yourself. Thanks for watching. Until next time.